Hare Krishna and welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita session. We are meeting after a couple of weeks, break of couple of weeks when we were in Vrindavan and all of you somehow couldn't join this time. Hopefully next time you all can also be in Vrindavan along with us, going from places to places, hearing Krishna Katha, singing, dancing in the kirtan of Lord Krishna, taking prasad, associating with nice Vaishnavas, hearing from them, those who are practicing for more than 30 years, 40 years, 50 years in some cases. Hear their realizations, what keeps them going, what was the mood of Srila Prabhupada. It's our great fortune that we have many Srila Prabhupada disciples still uh, available to us on this planet. And so we during our yatra we engage with many of them, and we heard from them, heard their instructions, took their guidance. They answer questions of all the young boys. We had a total count of about 250 devotees. Many of them were boys from the boys preaching, and about 100 of them were congregation where the families were there, girls, families. They all attended. So wonderful yatra overall. All of you should be thinking of joining these yatras as and when they are announced. Not worry too much. Unless we have medical emergency or exams, critical exams, we should try and try and attend these yatras as much as much as we can for our own spiritual purification and getting inspiration, feeling inspired to practice bhakti. Otherwise, practicing bhakti can become very dull, can become very can become very boring at times. But if we are in association of devotees, we feel the inspiration, we get the inspiration to practice bhakti, and which is so critical. So with this, let's jump into today's topic. We not we're going to discuss about a verse from Bhagavad Gita. It's 2.55, 2.2nd chapter, 55th verse, where Lord Krishna spoke about mental concoction, manogatan. And it simply means that he says that Arjuna, don't act on desires which are originating from the concoction of your mind. Concoction of your mind is a word specifically used in the translation of this verse 2.55 by Srila Prabhupada. And we will try to use that terminology and take this discussion a little deeper into the realm of our mind to understand what do you really mean by this concoction of mind. We in the message that we circulated, we mentioned about theories developed by mind. I can also refer to it as overthinking by our mind. Now, if you see, all of these are, they sound very relevant. All of these sound very familiar. We all become victim of doing these activities at times deliberately, at times even without us noticing it, and then suffer. We suffer from from anxiety, from stress. We get stress, and then we suffer the side effects of this activity if it is if it is done by us. So let's try to uh, dig little deeper into the realm of our mind to understand what are we talking about really. So let's a reminder that we are hoping for transformation like how Arjuna did. And end of this session, we hope we become Arjuna who is encouraged, who is ready to serve Krishna, do whatever Krishna wants him to do, even if it means killing his own family members. He was ready for that. Otherwise, he was detached. Otherwise, he could have gone to the forest, renounced everything, but for the sake of Krishna, he was ready to fight and kill even in his own relatives and family members, if that was the demand of the service. So, Karishye Vachanam Tava, Arjuna beautifully says, and that's how the Bhagavad Gita concludes. But today we will take a little we will take a step back and we will look at more towards our own self and how we can fix our own self, how we can fix our own mind and make it a better tool to use in performing devotional service as well as performing our material actions in the material world. So mind is a very important tool that we all have. All of us have mind, and all of us need to use that mind properly to elevate ourselves and not degrade ourselves. Krishna says in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita that elevate yourself with the help of your mind and not do not degrade yourself. So any person who can do that, mind is his best friend. Else, mind can be your worst enemy. So this is extremely important organ that we possess. Just like I have a hand, I have a mind. Just like I have my eyes, I have my intelligence. And I am a soul. I am a soul. I am neither this body, nor my mind, nor my intelligence. I have hand, I have my eyes. Similarly, I have a mind. I have some intelligence. And I'm expected to use all of this. Let's understand this concept a little bit better. We understand when a machine malfunctions. Every machine we make is supposed to do some function. For example, thermometer is supposed to measure fever. When we get a fever, we often use thermometer to measure that how much temperature that we are having, and accordingly we can decide if we need a serious treatment or we can take some home medicine and hope that this fever can get cured. So when a person and there are general ways in which we check temperature. We don't have to, even if we don't have thermometer, we can check the forehead, touch the forehead of a person just to understand how heated that head is, and accordingly judge and then use thermometer to actually measure the temperature. But when we see visibly a person sick, and when we decide to actually measure the temperature and give him thermometer, use thermometer to try and measure the temperature, and if we get 99 or 98 of just 100, when that person is completely sick and completely ill right in front of us, we can feel the body is heated, but the thermometer does not show anything. Thermometer simply shows 98, 99, at the most 100, but where we feel that that fever could have crossed 102, but the thermometer doesn't show, and then we start suspecting, is this thermometer working properly? Opposite case, when somebody is looking very normal and you use, just check thermometer, check the temperature and then you get that he's showing 103 degrees Celsius for temperature, fever, which is also, you know, insane, which is incorrect, which is prima facie not acceptable. Which means we suspect that the machine that we are using is probably not working properly. This is where we say that machine is, maybe this machine of thermometer which is used for measuring my temperature is malfunctioning. For example, we use our body, we use our hand, we use our eyes for certain things, certain functions. When my eyes stop seeing things clearly, I say that my eyes have started malfunctioning, and I rectify my this defect by using a spectacle. When i when i say three things, and I point four fingers, uh, one may one may determine that maybe my nerve systems and motor system is not properly functioning, because I'm saying three but I'm pointing four fingers, which means there is a disconnect somewhere in my body which is not allowing me to function properly. So there are different ways in which we understand when things don't function properly, or when they malfunction. Similarly, in case of mind, also we need to understand when our mind starts malfunctioning. To understand that, we need to also understand what are the functions of our mind. Broadly, there are many functions that mind performs, and such an important organs. But for the purpose of our discussions, let's look at these three broad functions that are performed by our mind. Our mind, we use our mind to perceive the world outside, and through the senses, the all the input comes into our mind. So we perceive the world around us. The soul perceives the world around us through the window of mind. Once that data comes in, our mind processes that data, and then pursuit means we want to do something about that data, and whatever the information has come in, we want to do something about it. There could be something that might alarm us, that there can be something that we may want to know more about, and thereby we start digging, we start doing more of those things. So pursuit means we wish to do something about that information. When we makes mistake while doing these three things, we know something is wrong with our mind. When we are not able to perceive properly, process properly, and decide on what course of action we should take properly, then we say we are not able to use our mind for the functions that it is meant to. And that could be because of the malfunctioning of our mind. We suddenly say, if we feel that, we may feel that our mind is not correctly functioning, just like our body is not correctly functioning. If we make mess in these three things, we can learn that, we can make an assumption, we can understand that maybe our mind is also not functioning properly. Example can be when we meet a friend, old friend, after many days, and we just say hello, how are you, and he suddenly gives a very angry reaction, and suddenly we are also taken aback. We say, what happened to you? So why are you so angry? And then the person responds saying that, no, I'm not angry. uh, of course something is wrong, what he's saying, what he's doing, what he's and what it's in response to a very um simple innocent inquiry. He's giving such a huge feedback, such a huge reaction is not expected. So we say that this is probably he's showing maybe he's has anger tendencies, which means for a small provocation there is a huge reaction that can come out. So there are anger proteins or tendencies. So this is another way of the mind not functioning properly, and there can be many such examples that we can talk about. Depression, another common word that we hear every day. Every day we feel people get depressed. We are witnessing, we hear, just I was before preparing for the class, and I read a story that a 4-year-old jumped from the terrace of her school and committed suicide. Every now and then we hear these uh, news articles where people commit suicide, um, and that their depression takes them to such a low level, low in their life, that they feel there is no better way for me to but just to end my body, just end my life, and then they take away their life. And when we read about those articles, news, or the read those stories, uh, one may wonder, really, are these sufficient causes? Are these causes serious enough for somebody to end their life? Somebody may not get a job, may not get pass, may not stand first in the particular exam, uh, and we say that they went ahead and committed suicide. Some of them didn't clear the exam, and then they went ahead and committed suicide. So a lot of these cases, when we hear those stories later, um, makes one wonder, really, are these serious enough cases for them to take such a drastic action? At In the hindsight, we may feel it is not, but at that point of time, though people who were going through those emotional turmoil, for them they thought it is worth it. It was worth it for them. Um, Not trying to justify what they did, but just trying to understand their psychology in the process, why they do what they do. So depression is a everyday phenomena for all of us. Why? Because in the life we keep getting so many reversals every day. Every day things go wrong with us. We want to do something and something opposite happens. Our desires are not fulfilled. And that is sufficient cause for us to become depressed. So one may ask a question that there's so many things wrong going on in my life. How can you not become depressed? If the question can also be twisted the other way around, saying that when so many things are going wrong in everybody's life, how can you not be depressed? So one may show a facade on the social media, which may show a glossy image, and all of us probably do that. All the people we know do that, but a little scratching the surface, a lot of dirt come up, lot of garbage come up, and we people agree that they are not at all happy, even though on the social media pictures they look extremely happy, extremely satisfied, but in the reality, it's completely the opposite. But they continue to wear that mask and show up to the world that how great they are and how happy they are. But a little scratching of surface reveals to us that they are actually the opposite. They are suffering. They are completely depressed. They are not happy about many things in their life. So so in our day-to-day life, we face many reversals. We go for a job interview, don't get selected. We wish to we have a dream of attending a particular college, and we've been preparing IIT, for example. Many students wants to clear IIT, get into those IIT, their favorite IIT, the IIT of their dreams. Similarly, for NEET, the medical exams, many competitive exams, people have dreams and people have goals, and when they try their best, also despite of trying their best, they don't get selected there. um, so every now and then, it can be a simple example of you booking a Uber or Rapido, and the driver canceling the car, canceling that contract. So every now and then we face reversals in our life. Our relationships don't work out as we desire, as we want. Our children don't listen to us. Our friends don't listen to us. Our spouses don't listen to us. Our bosses don't listen to us. Our employees don't listen to us. Our customers are not happy with us. We are not happy with the vendors, and so forth. So every now and then something or the other in our life is going wrong, and that is sufficient for us to actually become depressed. However, all of us are part and parcel of Krishna, and hence we also have a tendency to look up to the brighter side of life. So how successfully how successfully we are able to deal with these reversals in life depends primarily on the state of our mental health. If our mental health is in good condition, we can deal with these reversals ably. We don't get bogged down by these reversals. Some uh, so we are able to, we don't really get we are not will we will there will be reversals, and there will be we will feel sad about it as well at times, but it is not going to be that bad that we will end up doing something drastic about it. We will be able to refocus ourselves, regather ourselves, and move on in our life. So this is how successfully we can deal with reversals, and it all depends on one's state of mental health. So that's why the mental health is very, very critical. So let's analyze three statements below. One person is saying that I lost. The second person is saying that I am lost. And the third person is saying I am a loser. Are these three statements indicate similar state of mind of people, or how can you rate them in terms of their mental health? These three people. The one is saying I'm lost. I lost. Um, could be a game of cricket, one day match, World Cup final, whatever. I lost, we lost, I lost. Second one saying I am lost, and the third one saying I am a loser. Quickly, somebody can raise hand, give couple of answers. Does this indicate the similar state of mind of people, or there is difference?
There is difference, Prabhuji.
Okay, can you elaborate?
The person who says that I lost is actually speaking about the current state. Like it might be a situation, an exam or something. So the person has not given hope. It's more situational. And the person who says that I am a loser is actually very depressed because that person has absolutely no confidence, or maybe that person is worried that even if that person tries something, he or she might only fail at it.
So it's a, yeah, there is a difference. Yes, very nicely put. Gokul Broji, and then Shivangi Sinamagaji. I think you raised hand, but I don't know if you're there still there. You can also answer. Yes, Gokul Broji.
हाँ.
We're not able to hear. हाँ, आ रहा है आवाज.
Okay, Prabhu, the thing is like when you have shown three different situations. Like I am losing, I lost, and I am a loser. So it's like in three different perspective we have to look at it. Like the one person is like I don't know whether he has actually lost, but he has the feeling that he has lost something. The second person is like he's almost like gone, and he's like he don't have hopes. It's like whatever I'm going to try, still it's going to fail. And the in the third person's perspective, since he's telling I'm a loser, it's like he already lost everything and he's not willing to take up anything because he's already programmed that in anything I'm going to do, I'm always going to end up a loser. Like even though he's not going to lose, but still his mind is already like how Sri Krishna tells that he's already in the ignorance condition. So anything he's going to do, he's like always the results is going to be a. So it's like even if without anyone is telling, it's like I'm a loser, I'm a loser. That's the mindset of the third person.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Shivangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can you hear
Hare
me?
Krishna. Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so according to me, I feel like the perspective is the first person who says, "I lost." It can be very like situational shift in like some game, like you said. It can be cricket, or it can be anything like some valuables or like materialistic thing. He says, "I have lost that." So it is more like a thing that can be not affecting him much, but he thinks that it's a valuable thing, and so he says, okay, like trophy is lost or something, he could not give proper exam, so there he has lost. So the hopes of like competitive exam, something like that. So it's more like a materialistic thing which he feels that it's a valuable right now, and he feels that it has lost. According to me, like second thing, when a person says I am lost, the person is more like he has no direction, so he's in a confused state. He feels like right now I don't know what to do. So sometimes we feel like if we have to take some decisions, it's more like ye karo ya wo karo. So it's like I'm lost what I need to do. So it's more like in a mental zone where he could not decide, or there is no clarity in his thoughts, or he is seeking for some guidance or from someone, some approval, some things like he's looking outside. So he feels like inside there is no answer. Usually we say all answers lies within us, but it is like he's in that state of mind where it is like he feels I have no clarity what how to proceed with something. And the third person who says that I am a loser, he feels like whatever he did in his entire lifetime, he has never succeeded. So, which may not be truth, but he has been more focusing on things where, he associates that this is the only achievement. Like, if the person is, he wants to earn more money and he's not earning, so he feels like I'm a loser. I'm not capable enough to utilize my skills and gain money or earn money. Or if it is like more like in a relationship, so if a person is like a husband wife is not in that state, that it's not a good bond, or with children it's not a good bond. So it feels like that whatever I want to do in life, I'm not able to do, and I'm a loser because I've constantly been. And he has been labeling himself that I'm a loser. He's in a depressed state, is in anxiety mode, that whatever I'll do, even if I do something good for someone, since I'm a loser, I'll just lose that as well. So he has lost hopes from the life. So these are the perspectives
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
feel.
Thank you, Mataji, for nicely presenting the state of mind of these three people. So, Kanchan Mataji, will come to you later. We have one more question answer. Maybe you can cover there. You can speak during that. But let's do the first number one is in the relatively normal mental health. He's when I say I lost, it's an acceptance of reality, acceptance of the fact that okay, I tried my best, but I lost. Maybe I need to do something better other time, and hopefully I can win. The second person, as Shivanga Mataji rightly pointed out, is more looking outwards for help. I'm lost. It's the statement slightly serious than the first one, but it's not hopeless. He's willing to try. He's willing to look out for guidance, seek accept guidance, and then come back and try again. I'm a loser is a third uh, most serious case of mental health, where we say it's a serious situation where a person is come to conclusion that no matter how hard I try, no matter how good my intention can be, I will always be a loser. I will always be perceived by wrongly by people. I will never gain anything in life. So this is much a worse kind of a situation where one is not even one has lost right now, but also does not have future hope of gaining something in future. So this is number three. Is third statement is a much serious indication of a person who is suffering from serious mental health crisis. So this is how we understand. And these are not static position, these are dynamic positions. At times we may move across all three zones very quickly, and hence it's important for us to get a good understanding of which zone we fall into. What we'll do is quickly we'll look at a beautiful an event from Ramayana, where which is, again, we'll not go into the details of that event, but broadly this is a conversation between Manthara and Kaikeyi. In Ramayana, Ram Dasharatha declared that Ram will be coronated as next king in of Ayodhya, and everyone was extremely joyful about this event. The whole city was preparing, whole Ayodhya was getting ready for the coronation ceremony to happen tomorrow morning and the night before this conversation took place. Manthara would have said something to Kaikeyi. Now Kaikai actually bought that argument that Manthara said that if Ram becomes king, you, my dear lady, will become maid servant of Kaushalya, and Bharat will become servant of Ram. Today, and that this is the argument of Manthara, which actually took roots in Kaikai's mind. ये argument इतना, it's, and this is not the first time that, so this is not a new, this is Manthara is simply exploiting the thought which already exists in Kaikai's mind and that she's also aware of. So it's not a new thought that Manthara is planting in her mind. Kaikeyi was the most beautiful queen of Maharaj Dashrath. And even though she was young and beautiful and the dearmost queen of Maharaj Dashrath. Kaushalya was the senior, the first wife of Maharaj Dashrath, but the principal queen of Ayodhya was Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi knew this reality. Kaikeyi knew this fact that Kaushalya ideally should have been the principal queen of Ayodhya, of Maharaj Dashrath. But because of his attachment to me, because of his love for me, because he loves me more, because I am could be more beautiful, I am this, I am that, this position of Kaushalya has been given to me. So she always had that thought in her back of her mind, even though apparently they were not competing for any position, but in the background, Kaikei always had that thought that she might want to get this position back from me. It's like two tennis players. We had Martina. When I used to watch tennis, we used to have a player called Martina Navratilova, and she used to win Wimbledon's like very easily. For many years, she won. Suddenly, a new girl pop up on the screen, and her name was Steffi Graf. Came from Germany, very strong player, very strong forearms. She used to hit ball really hard, and suddenly, at the age of whatever 18, 19, 20, she started winning grand slams. And uh, so they used to often, after the final is over, and Martina Navratilova started losing those finals very regularly. But they always used to, they always pose for the cameras after the game is over, and they smile, looking at each other, and also looking at the cameras, they smile. Just because they are smiling, it's not that they are in the best of, they are not the best of friends. They are still competitors. Every year they will think that now I have lost, hopefully next year I will come back with different strategy and maybe I will win. So this number one spot that was given to Kaikai in Ayodhya, she assumed that there will be competition that might have enter in from the back door, and this could be that opportunity for Kaushalya to become principal queen of Maharaj Dashrath, and then he will actually, he can actually, use ask me to become her maid servant. So the theory, the roots of this theory always existed in the mind of Kaushalya, in the Kaikai, and Manthara simply exploited, brought those things to the surface, and simply exploited this information, um, and told her what she told, that Ram will become king, and then Bharat will become his servant, you will become Kaushalya's servant, and the whole thing will be lost. So this insecurity, which always existed, was simply exploited by Manthara's words. What impact it had on Kaikeyi? Kaikeyi created or imagined a mental reality which was completely disconnected from the physical reality. Now, you can assume this to be one circle, and this to be another circle. Now this could be our physical reality, and this could be our mental reality, or our dream world. And there need to be some decent intersection between the two. There should be some overlap between the two where both physical and mental reality meets each other, which means in that zone we are actually not disconnected from the world. When we are in our mental dream world, we are disconnected from the real world. We don't know what's happening around us, and when we are completely into the physical world, we are disconnected from the dream world. But we carry both these worlds with us, and we create an overlap between the two, so that for a reasonable amount of time in our day we remain active in our physical and mental world, but at times we switch to our mental world completely getting disconnected from the physical world. We imaginary world, we like to play in that imaginary world also at times. So Kaikai created an imaginary conspiracy theory post after hearing those words from Manthara. And her in her mental reality, she thought that there is this big conspiracy being planned against her and Bharata, and she became so convinced of this theory, which actually in reality didn't existed also. But she became so convinced of this whole theory that whoever would give a counter argument, she would consider them to be also part of that theory. You don't want me to succeed because you're part of them. you're आप सब मिले हुए हो, and therefore you're trying to you're trying to give me something, tell me this. So whoever does not agree with her opinion or her thought process were seen as candidate from the enemy camp. And this is how, to protect her imaginary self-interest, she demanded Ram. She utilized those two boons and demanded that Ram should be sent to forest for 14 years and Bharat should become king immediately. How important this was for her? This was the most important thing. Her mind made this demand so big that she said, "There's nothing else matters. I want this to be done now and right here, right now." And that was the intensity with which she made those demands. And Lord Ram agrees immediately to leave for forest. So, what was the cost she had to pay? She implemented her demand at the cost of breaking heart of her dear husband. It's not that only Dashrath Maharaj was loving Kaikeyi. Even she used to love her husband. She used to love Lord Ram. She used to love all her citizens of Ayodhya. She was very happy queen otherwise. She used to love all her children, all the queens also. She had a very good relationship with Kaushalya and other queens. But this event, this threat to her position, this imaginary threat, imaginary conspiracy became so big in her mind that she was ready to compromise everything for implementing her plans. She was ready to break heart of her husband, beloved husband. Eventually, she was even ready to become a widow. Dashrath Maharaj not only just broke his heart, he actually lost his life. He gave up his life, gave up his body the moment Ram leaves. Um, Soon after Ram left Ayodhya, Dashrath Maharaj left his body, and Kaikeyi was okay with that. Kaikeyi said, "That's fine." I mean, she just becomes so much blinded that she just couldn't see anything other than what she wanted. She made her imaginary world so big that she got completely disconnected and disoriented from the reality. The whole Pushing the whole kingdom into the ocean of sorrow. The whole Ayodhya was in love with Lord Ram, and when they heard that Ram will leave Ayodhya, the whole city became as good as dead. those are like dead people walking. The city become, it's like that. And uh, कई couldn't care less. उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा था. Why? Because we look at the world through our mind. We look at the world through our mind. The world means the world, the people in the world, the events happening in the world, everything. Generally, we look at them through our mind. On our mind जो कुछ impressions रहते हैं हमारे, जो कुछ recollections होता है, we look at people and judge people according to our historical database, historical history में जो कुछ हुआ था. So it's like if you've been bitten by a dog, uh, then every time a dog will approach you, you will be cautious. Not that every dog wants to come and bite you, but since having bitten once, you are always cautious. So the way we perceive the world, we look at the world through the mirror, through the lens of our mind, and accordingly we judge people, event, and things according to the conditioning that we have got so far in the history. Could be in this life as well as could be from the previous life. That's why we have phobia. Phobia is an example where the past life event affect our current life conditioning. Some people have phobia of entering into lift. They can't. They feel choked. It could be to do with the event in their previous life where they could have left their body getting choked into something, getting choked into an elevator, getting um could be those. It could have some linkage with the event, serious event in their previous life, because of which they are carrying the phobia from last life. So the events, so we look at the world through the lens of our mind. However, all of us, hello, yeah, yeah. However, we all have some people through who can show us the mirror, basically, who can hold a mirror in front of us and force us to look at ourselves, who really we are and what really we are doing. We don't have a lot of those people, but we should all have some people who should have ability to show us the mirror. So what we then do is, with some people we are open and honest to look at ourselves through their perception. Through their perception, we are ready to take a relook at who we are, what we are doing, through their perception, through understand our reality through their perception. In general, we look at other people through our perception, but with some people, and we should have some people in our life who should be able to give us honest feedback, who should be able to show us the mirror in front of us and say that this is where we are, who should be able to give us corrections, who should be able to, with whom we should be very, very honest and sincere. And those people, having those such people in our life is very important, because otherwise otherwise even if we are making mistakes, there's if there is nobody to do corrections, we can create disaster in our life for ourselves and also for the people around us. So for Kaikeyi, Bharat was that person. She did everything for his pleasure, and she had, during all this while, she had a complete faith that he will understand her position, he will understand her action, and he will agree with those actions also, he will justify those actions also. And when Bharat returned to Ayodhya to complete opposite happened. Bharat was completely in anger. He was completely in denial that he ever wanted to do anything like this. And that opened Kaikeyi's mind. That opened Kaikeyi's heart, and then she realized what a big mess that she has created over last few days. And so this is how basically the event took place. So the world is very tough, and we often go through such times when our mind don't function properly. Our mind malfunctions. In these times, we become vulnerable. We become vulnerable. If we are surrounded by people who are waiting for an opportunity when we become vulnerable so that they can take disadvantage of it, of our condition, we are we are in serious problem. We should be rather surrounded by such people who are ready to offer us alternate understanding of what we are doing and how we are doing, and through them, we can learn and relearn our about our own self and make corrections in our life, so that our life don't get derailed, train of our life don't get derailed. So this is the one of the key learning that we all can take. And what Kaikai did, at times we all do in our life also. At times, we go through such vulnerable, we become vulnerable, and we go into our own zone and get completely disconnected from the reality, and thereby end up causing a lot of harm, hurt to people around us. And it's like says that the hurt people. So if I feel I've been hurt, I will go and hurt others, and that's what Kaikei was doing. And until Bharat came and showed her the mirror, and that's how she came hosh mein aa gayi, and then from then onward she corrected herself. But by then, some of those things became irreversible. Dashrath Maharaj had already left this world. Ram had already gone to the forest and he refused to come back. So the whole world called Kaikai started considering Kaikai to be the villain, and the whole Ayodhya Vasis were extremely unhappy. So so she became the cause for the miseries suffered by so many people. So so we should also be mindful and watchful of what our mind can do to us, and not let it do it. Uh, Learn the signals when the mind is not functioning properly, and make the corrections. We take shelter of people who can offer us corrections, and we should be honest and sincere with them to put those corrections into action. Moving on, we will move to the next pastime. Uh, Another event that again come from Ramayana is abduction of Mother Sita. Ram, Sita, Lakshman staying in the forest, and where Mother Sita actually saw a golden deer, and immediately she developed affection, attachment for this deer. She said we can have him as a pet while we are in the jungle. And when we she started thinking that we are all three of us are going around from here to there, and we can if we can have a nice pet, uh, I think it will be very nice. And this golden layer, so beautiful, so nice, so agile, so sweet, so if we can maintain him as a pet, it will be so nice to have him as a pet. And later when we return to Ayodhya, we can give this golden deer to Mother Kaushalya as a gift that we got from the forest. um, so this was her. So this is how she was thinking, and we'll see that what's how everyone is thinking, looking at this incidents, looking at this golden deer. Sita is thinking like this, that we can have him as a pet during our stay in the jungle. Afterwards, when we return to Ayodhya, we give it as a gift from forest to Mother Kaushalya. And so this is where uh, this is the perspective of Sita. Lakshman, on the other hand, is looking at the same deer and he's thinking, uh, where such golden deer exists. I have not seen. They've been living in jungle for so long. So he says, I haven't come across any such kind of a golden deer ever. So it is too good to be true. It seems to be too good to be true. And when something is too good to be true, maybe it is not true. Maybe this demon is some demon. Maybe he's trying to trick us. So Lakshmana is thinking on those lines and expressing his thoughts like that. Lord Ram is listening to both of them. He's looking at his wife Sita. She's been a princess. She lived as a princess in the capital of Janak Maharaj, came to Ayodhya, again become so dear to everyone. She had very loving dealings with all his mothers, also with Dashath Maharaj, also with everyone in the Ayodhya. So she won everyone's heart, and despite of there being no need for her to come to the forest, she readily agrees to follow the footsteps of her husband and ended up coming to the forest. So Ram is saying she has never उन्होंने आज तक मुझसे कुछ नहीं मांगा है, and despite of being बिना कुछ ही जरूरत के भी वो पूरे समय हमारे साथ इस जंगल में she's spending time with us. She's suffering so many problems. Jungle is completely different than palace, so there are so many facilities available in the palace, and she she declined all those and readily came to the forest bare feet, walking behind me. So Ram is thinking about all the sacrifices that were made by Sita and all the difficulties that she's suffering in the forest life. And all along, she has never asked for anything. This is the first time Sita expressed a desire to have something. And he heard Lakshmana also. And he said, yes, seems so. Whatever Lakshman spoke also has a merit. But but let me let me go and try and fetch this deer for my dear wife. So uh, so Ram is simply reciprocating with his wife's desires, with his wife's love and desire, whatever she has expressed. So this is the mental disposition of these three characters simultaneously looking at this deer. Ram decides to leave and fetch this deer, get this deer. Idea was to catch the deer alive because we wanted him as a pet. And the deer starts running. The loud ram starts running. Deer starts running. They as soon as जैसे ही राम उस हिरन के नजदीक पहुंचते हैं, हिरन unusually huge leap लेता है. A huge big jump he makes and go far away from Lord Ram. And Lord Ram is surprised कि कोई हिरन इतना दूर कैसे जंप कर सकता है, इतने तेज कैसे भाग सकता है, मुझसे तेज कैसे भाग सकता है. एंड ही कीप चेजिंग गो फार फर्दर डीप इनटू द फॉरेस्ट. Sometimes he is about to catch that deer and the deer disappears, just disappears and reappears again far away. And then again, Lord Ram start chasing. At some stage, this deer उनको चकमा देके निकल जाता है. एंड चकमा देके भागते समय द डियर लुक्स बैक एट राम, लुक्स बैक एंड स्माइल मॉकिंगली. मैं तुम्हें उल्लू बना रहा हूं, इस तरह से डियर एक्चुअली स्माइल्स एट राम इन अ मॉकिंग वे. एंड राम रियलाइजेस दैट ये डियर है ही नहीं. ही इज नॉट अ डियर, ही इज सम ट्रिकस्टर who is trying to trick us. And then he simply says, let enough is enough, let me shoot him an arrow and kill him. And therefore he pulls an arrow and shoots at this Maricha. And then when Maricha is hit by the arrow of Lord Ram, he no longer can hold on to his facade, and he reveals his original form. He reveals his original form, and then he leaves his body. But before he did that, he do something very unusual. He spoke in human voice, exactly imitating Ram's voice. He called for help. सीते, लक्ष्मण, help. इस तरह से वो हिरण cry for help, exactly imitating Ram's voice. perfectly imitating Ram's voice. And then Ram get convinced कि ये गड़बड़ है, and he makes sure that the demon is dead, and he starts rushing back to the place where they had their hut, where they left Sita and Lakshman. Here, Sita hears the voice which came from the deep jungle. Murja ensured that he shouts loudly enough that both of them hears his voice. And since he has perfectly imitated Ram's voice, Sita becomes worried. Sita has been thinking that bringing deer is no big deal for Ram. Ram has been extremely parakrami Purush, so she's seen what he can do up till now, and obviously she was confident that he will bring him in no time. But Lord Ram went, and 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, few hours, and she got her into worry. So she started worrying, and that क्यों भेजा, यहाँ से शुरुआत हो गई कि भेजा ही क्यों, डियर का इतना नेसेसिटी नहीं था, नहीं भेजाता क्या फर्क पड़ता, why he went so far. So, and this is how Mother Sita is thinking, and suddenly she hears the voice of Ram asking for help, and then her anxiety level increases कि क्या कर दिया मैंने भेज दिया, एंड अभी वो बिकॉज ऑफ मी राम इज इन डिफिकल्टी, what should I do, and then she looks at Lakshman, he's saying, Lakshman, please जाओ और help करो, Lord Ram is in trouble, Ram is in trouble, you heard his voice, so please go and help him. On the other hand, Lakshman is very quiet. Lakshman is quiet and he's saying, uh, कुछ नहीं हुआ है, राम को कुछ नहीं हो सकता, सो डोंट वरी, इट्स सम डीमन हु इज प्लेइंग अनदर ट्रिक, सो डोंट वरी. नाउ Sita, on the one hand, she is worried that Ram is in trouble. It's another thing that somebody gets into trouble, um and okay, yeah, so somebody gets into trouble, and then somebody gets into trouble because of us. So it is because of Sita's request, Ram went to the forest. It's not that he was already in forest and there he got himself into trouble. Because he was in perfectly nice condition, but because of Sita's request, Ram went into the forest and now he is in trouble. So Sita considered herself directly responsible for Ram being in trouble. Now, that increases her guilt. So there is a anxiety which is increased by the guilt that this trouble is because of me, and that too for a such a for an object which was completely unnecessary. so um so this is her state of mind, completely deluded, completely anxious, completely depressed. The problem that we have is sometimes we are in problem, and when we share that problem with others, we expect other people to reciprocate with us, to at least agree that there exists a problem. But when Sita expressed this problem, shared this problem with Lakshmana, Lakshmana simply dismissed the problem only. He said there is no problem at all. And that increased Sita's problem. And on top of it, it's like her anxiety increased because she's sharing her anxiety with Lakshman and he completely dismisses it. There's no needs for such an anxiety. And that increased her anxiety even more. Now, Lakshmana also says that Ram told him not to leave Sita. Always remain with Sita, protect her. So Ram is not getting help because Lakshmana wants to protect me. So so that increases her guilt even more because of her request, Ram went to forest, and now Ram landed up in some trouble. And because Lakshmana wants to protect Sita, he is not able to go to Ram and help him. So, and the help is not reaching Ram. Again, Sita is the cause for that. So that again increases her anxiety, and that really creates a big mess inside inside her mind, and then she interprets that event, the series of event. She creates an explanation for herself, which we will see in the next slide. But before that, just a reminder that all have intelligence, which is an analytical faculty of our body, which is often we refer to it as our head. We also have our mind, which experiences emotions, feelings, and we often refer to it as heart. A soul, we are soul, we have intelligence, we have our mind, and we are soul is expected to consult intelligence, consult mind, and then take a decision. A soul is expected to consult intelligence, consult the mind, and take a decision. So, a rational, all our decisions should be rational. All our decisions should also be evaluated from emotional point of view, should be sensible and sensitive. Both sensible is a faculty of head, sensitive is a faculty of heart, and our all our decisions should satisfy both these conditions. So the best situation is when heart and head both points in the same direction. It is easy decision to take. uh, Problem comes when head says something this and heart says something this. What does one do? The soul gets confused. Now, in this situation, the soul will listen to that faculty who has been fed more by him. If he has listened more often to the mind, his mind has been fed more, and therefore he will end up listening to his mind, even if the intelligence is saying something different. If you remember all your purchases, his recent garment purchases. So Matajis can think of which saris they bought last, and Prabhus can think of which garment cloth they bought last. Could be shirt, could be trouser, could be jeans, or it could be a piece of jewelry for themselves. The head would have pointed in one direction and the heart would have pointed in another direction in all of those decisions, most of those decisions. Rarely head and heart will point in the same direction. Head will say there is your cupboard is filled with clothes, why you want one more shirt or one more sari. Heart will say is that my I have a lot of clothes, but this particular color is the what I have always been looking for all in my life, and now I have got this color, the same texture, the same price. It is the best deal of my life, let me buy it. So head is saying you don't need to buy it, heart is saying we must buy it, and we often ended up listening to our heart and we end up buying that cloth, whatever that is, whatever. So this is every now and then we get caught in this crossroad where heart is saying something, head is saying something else. Head is saying next day is your exam. Don't don't watch TV. Don't switch on. Don't even touch that remote control. Otherwise, you will end up clicking on it and then you will end up watching something. Heart is saying, no, no, I have studied for 5 hours. Now I need a break. This is a very legitimate break. I must take a break. And how important this break is for me to refresh my what I have studied, and I must take this break. And then heart says break is a must. Head says there's no need for a break. We end up taking the break. Our break starts with say 10 minutes, gets extended to 15, and then 1 hour. We after 2 hours we realize what we are doing, and then again we hurriedly switch off the TV and try and go back to the studies. And we take longer time for us to come back on track, because for last 2 hours, after 5 hours studies, 2 hours of watching TV, we need to redo a lot of things that we did in those 5 hours. So we end up increasing our problem. So we don't it's not very easy decision when the heart and head points in opposite directions. Often what happens is that what can happen is that the heart is become emotions become so strong that they grab this intelligence and drag it in his direction. Now Intelligence, using intelligence, I am creating a justification for my action. That for example, taking a break after 5 hours study, I'm dragging my intelligence to produce that explanation because my heart just want to watch TV for next 2 hours. My intelligence need to come up with some nice explanation so that my action become justified, look justified to others, look justified to me. So this is where the heart, the emotions will drag this intelligence and force it to produce some explanation, some interpretation that suits my theory. My theory is that I want to buy this somehow anyhow, and it is job of this intelligence to create that justification for it which sounds good. I don't should not feel guilty after doing it. So in order to do that, intelligence will work hard to come up with that kind of an explanation. So here what is happening is, originally intelligence saying this, mind was saying this. However, because of our strong emotions, mind grabbed this intelligence and turned it into this. Now not only it is forcibly showing this, but it is also creating a justification for doing wrong things. Not only intelligence is pointing in wrong direction now, but also creating a justification for doing wrong. So it is making matters worse. Again, in our life we go through this situation often without even realizing that this is what has been happening. But in Sita's life, mother Sita's life, she also experienced something similar. That difficult situation when she is at her in the mentally, she's completely depressed, completely anxious, completely stressed, and in that condition she creates this explanation or narrative or justification, interpreting why Lakshman is refusing to go, and she accuses Lakshman um, for keeping an evil eye on her. She says she will give up her body, but she will never allow any other man to touch her. Uh, now hearing, and she keep repeating this, that this is your evil plan. It will not get succeeded. Something happens to Ram, I will give up my body immediately. How can you be such a? We thought of you as such a nice brother, loving brother, but this is what you had in your mind all along, and so on and so. Keep accusing Lakshman with these accusations, and becomes unbearable for Lakshman to stand and listen to this. So at finally he relents and he says that I will go, even if I don't want to, even if Ram has instructed me not to leave your side, I'm going. I can't stand here and listen to your accusations. I don't know if when I will come back, will you be there or will you not be there? But at this moment, I'm going. I'm going and helping Ram, and and that's how he leaves. He leaves Sita alone in the forest in this hut. In the forest, after traveling considerable distance, Lakshman sees Ram, and he's relieved. He's relieved because his elder brother is in perfectly good condition. Um, and that's what he was been worrying. He also heard the voice, and he's also been thinking that what if even there is a 1% of Ram being in trouble? What if Ram is in trouble and I don't go and help him? So he feels very relieved by seeing his elder brother in good health, good condition. Seeing Lakshman in forest without Sita, Ram became developed stress. He says, I've told you not to come here. I told you not to leave her side or told you to protect her, be there and protect her. I gave specific instructions to you and you don't listen to me. You so far into the forest searching for me. You know nothing wrong can happen with me. Then why did you leave her side? Why did you at all came out in the forest? So Ram developed anxiety. Ram developed stress seeing Lakshman in the forest, thinking that now Sita is alone in the forest and she might be in danger. Even after Lakshman tried explaining what happened, and Ram doesn't really pay much attention to those accusations. He said, "You know, she's sentimental. You know, she was distressed. Why you shouldn't have taken those words very seriously. So why you came here again?" And then they both realize what would have happened, and both start rushing back to the to their forest home. When they reached when they reached their home, Sita was not there. When they reached their home, Sita was not there. Question is, who is wrong? The question let's discuss is, who is wrong or who was wrong? Yeah, these are the options you can deliberate upon. Is Sita wrong asking for the deer? I'm just going to wait just to see. We can talk about all of these. Is Ram wrong in agreeing to bring deer, disregarding advice of his brother? Is Sita wrong in accusing Lakshman? Is Lakshman wrong in leaving Sita alone? Who is wrong? You can answer one, or we can answer as a group, or let's hear a couple of answers before we go ahead. It's close to 12:20.
Hello.
Yes, Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi Mataji,
Yeah.
yes. Go ahead.
See, in this case, I feel nobody is wrong because whenever they felt something and their mind decided on a certain thing, their intentions were not wrong. They did it with good intention. Like Sita said, thinking about giving the deer to her mother-in-law, or Ram trying to feel that his wife has not asked something, so he should give something to her. First time she is asking, and Lakshman bowing because Sita started accusing him of a very high immoral act. Okay, so all three, none of them were wrong. They did what was destined for them. That is what I think.
Okay, very nice. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else wants to share some their perspective?
Krishna Prabhuji, I think Lakshman is wrong. Because at the beginning, he suspected this may not be the correct golden deer, something wrong with his appearance. At the same time, he was in cool mind, whereas Sita was in disturbed mind, thinking that her husband has a problem. So she can accuse anything, but Lakshman could have taken very cool way that what Sita is telling is not correct. I must obey my brother's instruction. I must protect Sita. I know there is something wrong, but I must obey my brother's instruction. Nothing will happen to my brother, Ram. I must protect Sita, and he should have stayed there. I feel it is a mistake of Lakshman to leave her and go to forest.
Okay, thanks for sharing the perspective. Kanchan Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think Sita Mata was wrong because as per the sloka that we are going to discuss, if we look at that, everything that comes from our mind, the material desires, definitely lead us into some or the other material trap. So if we have would have if he would have controlled that desire of having a deer, and or else he would have related it with the service to Lord. Maybe that's what I think.
Okay. Thanks, Mataji. Thanks for sharing the perspective. Atishi Mataji, yes. Last comment.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
I think Prabhuji, Rama is also wrong because he could have made Sita understand that since Lakshmana told that this is too good to be true, so he could have because I feel Sita was not so. Um, I mean, according to me, Sita was not so. I mean, kind of childish. Childish desire she had to ask for that deer. So Rama should have understood that and should have made her realize. I mean, should have made her understand that no, this is not good for us. This is not the true deer. This is something else. And if Rama would have made her understand, I think Sita also would have realized that. Sita could have been convinced.
Okay.
So I think that way.
Okay, nice. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective. Subhashoji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
See, in
Krishna.
my view, like I agree, nobody is wrong, and basically, it is not the question. We are no one to actually judge the access of those divine, this thing, souls. But at the same time, I would like to say this is a question for all of us. We are all driven by different kind of inputs on daily basis. So we may commit mistake. Aftermath, we come to know this is the wrong, this is the right. But at that instance of time, because of the heart and mind not in sync and not guided by the soul, we take actually decisions which are materialistic in nature, but ultimately we realize these are not leading to the purpose of life which we are here for. So
Yeah.
for me, because in Lord Rama's case, he has shown ideal person means Maryada Purushottam. How a human being should learn from that particular life. He has not behaved like as a god, but he has shown as a human being you can commit mistakes because of these things and how you can lead your life learning from this. So that is my learning. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Guruji. Hare Krishna. S- Thank you so much for sharing this perspective. So we'll move forward. So yes, I think we've heard many comments, and um, yeah, I mean I've gone through the chat also. So one thing is, we are analyzing. This is Leela as well. The way we look at Ramayana or Mahabharata or even Lord Krishna's pastimes are, at one level we can look at them as Leela. Leela means everything is as per the plan of the Lord. Ravan had to be killed, so Sita had to get abducted. Maya, Chaya Sita had to appear from this Lakshman Rekha, and therefore this Lakshman Rekha was there. So Sita, mother original Sita went back, and then Chaya Sita went with Ravan to Lanka, and then the whole war had to happen. All the pastime had to unfold, and because of which, all of these things happen. Now that is at a Leela level, at a level of pastime, but and that is at a when we look at these events from the considering the divinity of divine nature of all the characters involved. Lord Ram is Lord. So when but if we consider look at them only from the filter of divinity, then we will not be able to learn much out of it. But when we look at them at an ethical level, that this is how people behave in life in on day-to-day basis. So what rightly many of you actually said this, that if we just consider them as God performing some Leela, then there is not much for us to learn. But when we look at them as common characters, as a husband, as a wife, as a brother-in-law, and this is how we all act in our life day-to-day basis. Anyway, and to that extent, nobody is wrong. Everyone was following their heart. We are predominantly driven by our heart, and we are guided by our intelligence. And so in this case, Sita, um, she just made an innocent request of having a deer as a pet, and then later on it could be gifted to her mother-in-law. So it, and all along she had not asked for anything. She's survived whatever the onslaughts of jungle life that was being offered, and as a obedient servant she was serving Lord Ram in the forest. So This is the first time she felt, but more of an innocent, it's kind of an innocent request that she put across to her husband. And this is what a wife is supposed to do. This is what husband is supposed to do for her wife, his wife as well. He is supposed to reciprocate. She has been sacrificing all along so much that this is the first opportunity that Ram got to reciprocate with Sita. And through these reciprocations, the relationships, what is a relationship? Relationship is nothing but beautiful reciprocation between two people. And so Ram immediately agrees to reciprocate Sita's love, Sita's sacrifice, and this, by giving her that deer. So Ram's actions are also not not wrong. And Lakshman Lakshman also Sita also, when she accuses Lakshman, he understands her condition. We've discussed at length how at a mental level how she was at her lowest point, that her beloved husband was in danger because of her, and because of her help was not reaching him. And that just and she reached in a state of helplessness. She was finding herself completely helpless, where she heard the voice of Ram asking for help, but nobody can help. And that helplessness could have brought so many bad thoughts in her mind. What will happen to Lord Ram? What will happen to her? And that then she ended up manufacturing the theory that she spoke with Lakshman. So Sita accusing Lakshman is also not wrong, because of her own mental state was such that any other lady would have probably done the same thing. Lakshman also didn't leaving Sita is also not wrong, because uh, as Vishnu said, it's such a moral accusation, such a strong moral accusation, and that is that he couldn't stand hearing. And at 1% he also had a thought that even that trickster whoever would have shouted that voice was perfectly matching with Ram's voice. So even Lakshman had this has as a back of his mind 1% possibility that maybe Ram could be in danger. And that also push Lakshman. He took that step to go in the forest and leave Sita alone. After they met, when they came back, um, Lakshman was not saying that, see, I told her this was a trickster. I told her I will not leave, and because she forced me to go to the forest. Now this is what her condition is. She's probably been abducted by someone, and she is now getting fruits of her own actions. Lakshman didn't say this. After returning, when they returned and they didn't find Sita home, Lakshman didn't say these words, saying that because of her only she's found herself into the another trouble. He realizes that uh, it's the cost of he being right is far less than the danger that Sita might be in right now. Sita might be in a huge danger right now. He being right or he being wrong doesn't really matter. What matter is what is current situation. Sita is missing and she could be in great danger. So he doesn't bring up this whole conversation in front of his brother saying that she is getting fruits of her own actions. He doesn't say that. After end of war, when Sita is rescued and comes back, Lakshman also doesn't go and tell her, when are you going to apologize for the words that you spoke to me in the forest? I never had such intentions, and you spoke in such a harsh way. When are you going to apologize for for that? He doesn't say that. So what is old did not be brought up. What can be given up should be given up. It is not important. And therefore, so this is how things unfold in this particular pastime. And we're still discussing who is wrong. In this case, Ravan is wrong. Ravan is the one who planned for this whole conspiracy. He convinced Maricha to act like this golden deer. He is the one who, because of his uncontrolled lust, uh, still wants to enjoy the property of Lord without Lord, and is been able to make such evil plan and execute those plans is wrong. It is true that evil always exists in the world, and evil minded people will also exist, and they will do wrong things wherever and whenever they get an opportunity. So they will try to harm us in some way or the other, and we must protect ourselves. That is true, but that still doesn't mean what they do gets justified. There's not sufficient justification for wrong actions done by evil people. Those need to be called out. Those must be called out, and they are the one who are wrong on the world. Bangladesh, we have many atrocities happening with the devotees. uh, for some time it used to come in news. Nowadays that doesn't even come in news, but those things continue to happen. Now, one may say that yes, all those Hindus, all those people, they had opportunity to come back to India in 1971 when we freed Bangladesh. So they didn't come. They didn't came back. They continued to stay there. What do you expect? These people are like that, and they will do these things. And you don't want to come back. It's your problem. So face it. Uh, it's not it's not correct disposition. It's not correct disposition. It doesn't give license for those people to do wrong things just because these people continue to stay there. One who do wrong should be called out very loudly and clearly. There's no justification that they are evil, therefore they are doing wrong things. Wrong is always wrong, and therefore um, we Ravan is wrong in this whole scheme of things, and that's why he got the punishment that he deserved. And we'll conclude with this couple of slides. There are things that are good for us, and there are things that make us feel good, and they could be completely different circles. However, in this particular slide, we are showing that there is a small intersection between these two things. Things that are good for us, things that are good for us, cultivating brahmanical qualities, that is good for us. Living a sattvic lifestyle, that is good for us. Offering food as a bhoga to Krishna and eating it as a prasad is good for us. Chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is good for us. Hearing Krishna Katha is good for us. Visiting Dham, Holy Dham is good for us. Taking association from devotees is good for us. Things that can make us feel good can be completely different than these things. Can
Hare
these
Krishna Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt you. Your voice has gone low, like volume is very less.
is it? Hello? Oh, I'm seeing some comments. Is this better right now, or is it still continue to be low?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's
Yes,
okay now.
Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. Sorry about this. I don't know what happens, but somebody I think started transcription of the meeting, and then I got this voice messages, but whatever. So things that make us feel good. So we need to create an intersection between the two. That the things which are good for us and things that make us feel good. And this intersection section, this particular section is the one where we we can, this is our really comfort zone, where we are doing things which are good for us and they are making us feel good also. And as we expand this circle, and if then what is happening is, then what will start happening is we will start deriving happiness from the things which are good for us. So they are good for us and they also make us happy, and that will help us give up all the unwanted things in life. So this way, this way we will be able to practice vairagya, abhyasa and a vairagya. But picking up things is a abhyas, and giving up unnecessary things are the vairagya. The things that just make us feel good. Somebody may feel good by watching TV, news channel, or movies, or music, listening to the music, or listening to mundane political analysis. Some of those, so we have different ways in which we try to search pleasure in this world, and those not necessarily should be devotional service. Those should not be, need not necessarily be those of so we'll if we like to listen to the music, we can switch to the listening of devotional music. We can switch to the listening of kirtans, and thereby the listening to the music makes me feel happy. And when I listen to Hare Krishna kirtan, it that which is good for me, I start deriving happiness from things which are good for me, and this way I progress in my spiritual life, so that I don't need to necessarily live as like two persons within one person. I don't have to be two personalities. I can just be one person who is doing devotional things and becoming happy by doing those devotional things. That is the best case scenario. So best case scenario for us will be to expand this small intersection circle and make this the whole big circle on the left hand side. So we do things which are good for us, and we derive all our happiness from the things that are good for us. So this is manogatan. We don't leave our mind with too much opportunity to desire for things which are non-devotional in nature, non-spiritual in nature, and that's how we become we progress further in the devotional life, and we become happy by performing devotional service. To summarize, we all have a mind, and we
Hare Krishna.
must. Hello, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we all have a mind, and we must learn to manage it intentionally. We don't shouldn't leave our mind loose. We shouldn't be controlled by our mind. We should be controlling the mind. We should be at least trying to control our mind. Uncontrolled mind can be our worst enemy and can make us do things which we regret later. Best way to control our mind is to engage it in Krishna. By chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by hearing Krishna Katha, we can easily fill our mind with Krishna. By regular practice of these good things, we can start feeling good about these things as well, and come in the intersection zone. And now, as we expand this intersection zone, uh, we become happy by doing things which are good for us. We derive happiness by performing devotional service. At this stage we are able to easily give up unhealthy things, because now we possess happiness that we get by performing devotional service. This is very easy way of anartha nivritti of lust, anger, hate, greed, attachment. To give up those otherwise is very difficult, but by if we start deriving happiness by performing devotional service, giving up those unnecessary things, unhealthy things, anarthas becomes much easier. This way we can make steady progress in bhakti, in devotional service. So that is what we had to discuss today. um we are at 12:42. We just shared this information about the Japa session in the morning. A lot of you have started joining these sessions. Thank you so much for doing that. Those who have still not are still not joining this session can start joining these sessions. Consider spending your mornings with devotees, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The timings are from 4:45 to 7:30, and evening reading sessions we have every evening. We will meet and Zoom again at 8:30 using the same Zoom credentials, and we read Bhagavatam for 30 minutes and Bhagavad Gita for 15 minutes. And that's how we conclude our day. I'll just break just to see if there are any questions before we conclude today's session. Yes, Sanjeev Prabhuji, and then Ashwini Shukla Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a wonderful session today. We've spoken about at length about uh, how to really control the mind, how to engage in devotional service, which will help us a lot. But the fact is the mind is controlling the mind. Even a devotee like Arjun admitted is like more difficult than trying to control the wind. And what happens is often we see people sometimes walk down this path of devotional service, perhaps with a different agenda or a different motive. And the moment they achieve that motive, they go back to the old ways again. So the question is really, with what motive or intentions you're coming in the first place to engage in devotional service. So that how does one ensure that you stay the course, especially if you have different motives? Thank you, Prabhuji.
So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful question. So yes, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that four kind of people comes to me, and they are Artharthi, Jigyasu, and Jnani, cha Bharata Varshava. So Arto are the ones who are in distress. They will come to Krishna seeking relief from their distress condition. And Artharthi are the ones who want something in exchange. So they'll perform bhakti, in return they want something back. Jigyasu and Gyani are the ones who have better possibility of staying back or on the course, because because their motives are different. But Arto or Tharthi are the ones who are likely to leave the course as soon as their desires are fulfilled. But in the seventh chapter, Krishna referred to those people as Udara. And why? Because at least during these conditions, they are remembering Krishna and they're coming to Krishna. So Krishna, for that reason, think of them as having very broad-minded people, as great people. How they will stick the course? Uh, if they if they again, they need devotees' mercy to understand that the one who is giving them who's the one who is fulfilling their desires can give them much more. Does he have how much more they can give? It's like going to a king and asking for few grains of rice. King can give much more than that. So when they get mercy from devotees, we need devotees mercy to start our devotion. Otherwise we remain at the level of trade, business, and we just give something and expect something back. With God, with God also we just do business. When devotees interfere in our life, they tell us, they can convince us that we can have a long-term relationship with God. So when you become friend with God, you don't need to ask for anything. So a devotee can help us understand these aspects. So hence, without if anybody is trying to practice bhakti without devotee guidance, without being under devotee guidance, is not likely to be able to practice it for long time. So we need devotees guidance. We need, just like Kaikeyi had Bharat, who could who could tell her the truth, held the mirror in front of her, and she could see herself what she has done. Similarly, a devotee intervention is critical and required for all of us, for everyone, to be able to come on the path and stay on the path. And when devotees become merciful, they intervene, they show us the path, they help us keep ourselves on the path. Then because of their mercy, we can do some progress. On our own it will be impossible for us to do this. So this is how we understand. So if anybody is trying to become a pure devotee of Lord on his own, it's impossible practically in today's world, but it is possible under devotees guidance.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Ashwini Prabhuji, you have a question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. Prabhuji, आंशिक रूप से जो मेरा प्रश्न था उसका उत्तर आपने दे दिया है। मतलब मेरा प्रश्न ये था कि हमें आज के वर्तमान समय के परिप्रेक्ष्य में अपने भीतर के रावण और बाहर के रावण कैसे पहचाने और उनसे मतलब उनकी माया जाल से हम कैसे बचें, उनके छद्म रूप से कैसे बचें, फिर जो हम भक्ति में फिर आगे सीरियस हो पाए जिससे।
So I think the similar answer जो संजीव प्रभु जी को भी मैंने बताया कि we need devotees mercy. We need intervention in our life. We need somebody to intervene in our life and show us, held that mirror in front of us, show us that mirror. अगर वो नहीं होगा तो हम अपने for our mind can justify anything that we do. Our mind, when a mind our mind catches hold of our intelligence, they can create justification even for any heinous act that we might do, and mind might end up giving us some kind of producing some kind of a narrative or justification for it as well. And if unless we have somebody else through which we look at our mind कि ये क्या कर रहा हूं मैं, unless we find someone through whom we can look at our own self, it will be difficult. It will be very difficult for us to come up to a situation where we start realizing if we are actually doing something wrong. We may feel we may momentarily feel that we are doing wrong, but the doing wrong itself creates after a while, it's if you repeatedly do wrong things, after a while you stop believing only that they are wrong, and that happens everywhere. And we become numb, we develop numbness towards that wrong. That guilt also stop coming to us. If you happen to lie, if you are a regular liar, initially when you lied for the first time, you felt I did something wrong. When you lied for the second time, third time, 10 time, 100 time, as you lie regularly, you become expert in it. And then you say, I can lie without blinking my eye. I can look into your eye and tell a lie and you cannot find out. I start become taking pride in doing wrong things also. So we need somebody to be able to show us this mirror. Somebody like Bharat, who was there in the life of Kaikeyi, but we need devotees in our life who can do similar thing. They can tell us, they can show, held that mirror in front of us, and in that mirror we can see our real self. And that is important. If you don't have it, a mind can keep justifying all your wrong actions, and a lifetime will pass and you will not realize what all mess that you ended up creating for yourself. So please take shelter under a devotee, um, and ask them to give you corrections as often as possible, whenever required, wherever required. So that is how I will say that. Rather than relying on our own intelligence and our own mind, or rather, taking help from senior devotees is more assured way of success. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vaishnavi Sharma, Mataji, you had a question? I think you had a hand raise.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Actually, it was not a question. It's just one of the perspectives that ran in my mind when you were discussing the whole sequence of Mata Sita being abducted. It brought me to the first slide that you had put up, like, where you had given three different types of mindsets. And one of them was, I am lost. So that one particular statement, I feel I've realized now that it can actually have two meanings. Like, it's very ambiguous. You can feel lost when you're trying to chase something materialistic and you don't get it. So it can increase your stress level. But at the same time, if you are a bit of conscious about what is actually going on with you, what you want with your life, and if you have some sort of spiritual inclination, then the same mindset can actually push you towards spirituality. Like, I am lost and I want to be on a right path. So instead of chasing materialistic things, we can actually divert ourselves towards what is right. Because one thing that came into my mind is like, Lakshman ji was very much aware that this can be a Mayavi that who has come to trick them, right? So what they all did was they gave up to their emotions. So instead of giving up to the emotions, they could have discussed this. Sri Ramji and Mata Sita and Lakshman would have discussed it, that this can also be a possibility. So instead of Sri Ramji going ahead and chasing the deer, it could have been Lakshman who would have chased it. So that way, everyone's mind could have been at peace also, right? And Sri Ramji would have been well aware that my brother is aware that this could possibly be a trap, so he will be able to handle the situation. So this two instances, like, I could connect, like, if even if you're in the same situation, but if you have even a bit of spiritual clarity in your mind, even the materialistic things you feel that you are lost about or you're losing control, they can actually also guide you towards the right path.
So, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for bringing up this perspective. The second is first one was I lost, second one was I am lost. Now, this statement actually indicates that the need for seeking external help. Okay, because when I have exhausted all my internal options, I am saying that I'm still lost. I don't know whether to turn left or to right. This is and you're right. While chasing material dreams, material goals, or while in different stages in our life, we often feels this way. I feel lost. I feel lost. And if we have a spiritual guide, a mentor in our life to guide us, this feeling of being lost can become an impetus for us to become serious in devotional service, or at least push us towards devotional service. If we are not in devotional service, it can help us push towards devotional service. That repeatedly my plans are getting defeated. Repeatedly my plans for material enjoyments are getting defeated one after another. We know in instance where in our society, uh, husband wife, they fought very hard, worked very hard to buy this home, and then uh, went into legal battle got delayed, the construction got delayed, legal battle got delayed, finally they got the home. They decorated it so beautifully, each article they picked from the market, everything was perfect. And at very young age, um, they they were driving down to Pune. They crashed into a car and both husband and wife lost their life. Um, this is baffling. The whole life is baffling. The events in life, they are often baffling. We don't know. I mean, they created a perfect home for them, and given their age, they were in probably mid 30s. They could have lived there for another 40 years, 50 years easily. So why why so 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 it, it's possible for us to become lost in the whole scheme of things. And if we have spiritual mentors with us, if we have spiritual guides with us, if we have spiritual friends who are practicing devotional service in our life, uh, all such events where we feel lost can become an impetus for us to get pushed towards becoming a devotee, become accepting Bhagavad Gita philosophy, practicing devotional service. So yes, you're right, and so it's very important for us to have good association, a right association, and that will help us. That can help us always, even navigating through material problems. Also, it can help us, but definitely it will help us becoming a better devotee in our life. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that perspective.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Since we don't have any other questions,
Hare Krishna,
we'll.
Guruji.
Yes, Vajay.
I have one question. Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Thank
Vajay.
you for. I'm audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Thank you very much for a beautiful session. Actually, I have one doubt that means as one of verse Krishna mentioned that verse chapter 10, verse 22, Veda Nam Samo Vedosmi Deva Nam Namasmi Vasava Indriya Nam Manachami Bhuta Nam Asmi Chaitana. So Krishna is mentioned that he is the mind, right, in all the senses. So my question is that means why Krishna make mind very flicker, very unstable in initial state. By doing bhakti, we are making it stable, right? But why in initial stage he is making unstable, very flicker? So due to our karma or due to his Krishna will? That's why I want to know.
Yeah. So it's
Thank
a,
you.
yeah, I mean, your answer is in your you have answer hidden in your question itself. So because Krishna is mind, Krishna says, I am the mind. Amongst the six indriyas, I am the mind. That what is Krishna's cannot be controlled by anything else. So that's the reason controlling mind by any other means other than engaging mind with Krishna is a is a is an impossible task. By our own effort, we can get some control sometimes by but it's a Herculean task to control the mind, and we've seen Vishwamitra at a very advanced stage of his life, of his penance and austerities, also could get attracted towards Menaka and fall. Can his tapasya was lost. Bharat Maharaj could give up the whole kingdom, the whole palace, the wives, the sons, the whole power, the whole planet. He was ruling the whole planet, but he could easily renounce it, easily give that up, but could get attached to a deer. He couldn't resist getting attached to a deer. So all our efforts to control our mind without mind being engaged in Krishna's service uh, are likely to be failures, are likely to be the failures. And hence our long term, mid to long term solution has to be engaging our mind in Krishna, connecting our mind with Krishna, filling our mind by Krishna, by his name, by his form, by observing his form, by his Krishna Katha, by his devotional service. Now, when Krishna occupies our mind, the Cheto Darpana Marjanam can happen. When Krishna, when we allow Krishna, when we desire Krishna to enter and reside inside our mind, Krishna then can actually come and reside in your mind and clean the dirt of your mind. But otherwise, by any other means, it is impossible to do it. So that's why Krishna consciousness is critical. That's why Krishna consciousness is the only way forward for attaining us a peace of mind. That 5.29 Gyatva Mam Shantim Rachati. Gyatva Mam Shantim Rachati. Because knowing this, you will attain peace of mind. So that's a easy way to attain that peace of mind. That Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasa, that I am the enjoyer. I am the enjoyer of all the austerities and penances. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. I am the God of all the universes. And Surudha Sarva Bhutanam. I am the ever well wishing friend of all the living entities. If you know these things, you will Gyatva Mam. And if you know that I am this, then you will attain peace. You will stop becoming my competitor. You will become my cooperator, and therefore you will attain peace. So, therefore we should connect ourselves with Krishna, and we can attain Krishna in this lifetime. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uji. Hare Krishna for a wonderful question. So, yeah, there's no more questions and comments. We'll conclude today's session. Next session onwards, we'll do a deep dive from the important section from Bhagavad Gita's chapter 2, from verse 2.54 to 2.72. We'll try and cover all of that in one session, or at least most of it in one session, so that we can then switch to chapter 3. Thank you so much for staying and participating in group discussion through chat, through voice. Look forward to more such wonderful sessions from all of you, wonderful participation from all of you, as we all look to learn Bhagavad Gita together in a systematic study course. Thank you so much, Mother, everyone. And next Sunday, wish you all a very happy Krishna conscious week ahead. And we will meet next Sunday and continue with our session. श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल।
राधे
हरे
राधे।
हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी,
हरे
दंडवत
कृष्ण
प्रणाम
प्रभु जी,
प्रभु जी।
दंडवत
हरे
प्रणाम।
कृष्णा।
राधे राधे,
Hare
दंडवत
Krishna
प्रणाम।
Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you
Hare
very much.
Krishna
Prabhuji, Dandat
Krishna
Pranam. Thank
Prabhuji,
you,
thank you so
Prabhuji.
much. Dandavat Pranam.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। थैंक यू सो मच।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.